Good afternoon, guys. Um, this is James Gun tutorial. My name is Liz. On today's video, I'll be teaching you guys on how to solve linear programming problems. Now, I have this question. We ask that three different types of reactors ABC are produced by a company. Now, full stop. You have that the time needed for the three reactors. The time needed for the three reactors types. We have one for designing are 4, 2, and 3, and we have 4, 2, and 3 hours respectively, and for fabrications are 1, 3, and 2 hours per unit respectively, and also for assembly are 2, 1, and 4 hours per unit respectively. Now we ask that the profit margins for reactors A, B, and C are $11. Please don't mind, this is dollar. Are $11, $10, $12 respectively. Now we ask that the firm has 32 men for designing, 25 men for fabrications, and the 28 men for assembly. Okay. Now we ask that all men work 10 hours per week. So, and also that the firm must supply a total of what? A total of at least 100 units of mixed types each week. Now, this is the end of the problem. So we are asked to formulate the linear programming problem, and also we also formulate the linear programming problem to maximize the profit, and bi we also determine the weekly output of each type of maximum profit, and also bii we have to determine the maximum weekly profit. Okay, so let's solve this question now. Let's solve it. Okay, now to solve this question solution, we have that forming 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 the equation. We have that from this question, you understand, from this question. If you hear like one thing in linear programming is that if you hear anything like profit margins, or anything like profits, it means that all the values under that profit will be for maximize profit, which is if you check in this profit, we have $11, $10, and $12. So means that for me to form this equation, it simply means that p where this p here is the optimal profit. You understand? So we have that p is equals to 11x. From here you have the value at 11, so so that becomes 11x plus, here is $10, that becomes what? 10y plus, here is $12, so that becomes 12z. Okay, so therefore what's next? After doing that, we have to form the equation for the three reactors. Okay, and the three reactors here are A, B, and C. So and we have that for A is fabrications, and the values for fabrications are, sorry, we have the values for A is designing, and we have the values for A here are what? 4, 2, and 3. So therefore for us to find the equation, this become x, this is y, and this is 3. So that becomes what? So that becomes 4x plus 2y plus what? 3z. Now plus, you know that this equation will be what? The equation 1. So since this equation will be an equation 1, so therefore just simply put x1 to it, where this x is a what? Is a constant. You understand? So simply put x1 to it, since it's equation 1. So that becomes 4x plus 2y plus 3z plus x1 is equal to what is the total unit for designing. And they say that the firm has the 2 men for what? Design. So which is equal to what? 32. I call this equation 1. So let's do for reactor B. Reactor B is what? Reactor B is fabrications, and the values are 1, 3, and 2. So therefore that becomes, we have 1. So where here is x, here is y, and here is what? Z. So that becomes x plus what? 3y plus 2z. So that becomes x plus 3y plus 2z plus the same thing we did here. Since here is equation 2, I'll add x2. Now, what the total unit for this reactor B is equal to, that is under designing. And they say that the design is what? Under designing, and they say the film had 32 men for design, and also, okay, well, that is under fabrication. So, and 25 men for fabrications. So therefore, the total units for this reactor B is 25. Okay, so what's the next thing? The next thing is for us to form the equation for reactor C. So I know that the reactor C here is what? Assembly. So, and the values for assembly are what? 2, 1, and 4. Okay, so I know that under this is x, this is y, and this is z. So that becomes 2x plus y plus 4z. Okay, so that becomes 2x plus y plus what? 4z plus, I know that this is equation 3. So I'll simply add what? X3 to it. You understand? The same thing we did here. So I'll simply add x3 to it to make this balance. So which is equal to what is the total unit for reactor C, which is assembly? Then the total unit for the assembly is what? We have it as 28 men. That is 28 men for assembly. So that is this, which is equal to 8. I call this equation what? 3. Okay. So therefore now, after doing this, therefore we have to add both the contrast to this P equation. Okay, that is, this P equation simply means to the optimal profit equation. Okay, so I have to add the value of x1, x2, x3 to P equation in times of what? Zeros. You understand? So we have added in times of zeros. So that becomes P is equal to what? 11x plus 10y plus 12z plus what? 0x1 plus 0x2 plus 0 what? X3. Okay, so that is it. Now after doing that, let's find our iterations. So first, to solve this, I have to draw a table. You understand? Once after drawing a table, I have to draw a line. This is a line I drew. So where here is what? Where here is CBI, I mean where here is CJ, which is this CJ here simply means the coefficient. Okay, and if you check in this CJ now, the coefficient of P are what? You have 11, you have 10, you have 12, you have 0, 0, and 0. And also, if you check now, what are their variables? The variables are x, y, z, x1, x2, and x3. Okay, so after doing that, under this you put your x1, x2, x3. I know that from your P equation, the value of x1 is what? Is 0. The value for x2 is also 0. The value for x3 is 0. Okay, so after doing that, let's impute the values of equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3 in this table. So if you come for equation 1, we have the value for x is 4. I put 4. Okay, the value for y is 2. I put 2. The value for z is 3. I put 3. The value for x1 is what? Is 1. So and also, if you come for equation 1, we don't have x2, we don't have x3, so I put it what? 0, 0. Okay, the value for x2 becomes 0, 0. Now next thing for equation 2, the value for x is what? Is 1. Value for y is 3. Value for z is 2, and value for x2 is what? Is 1. If you check for equation 2, I don't have x1 and x3, so I put it 0 and 0. Again, I come for equation 1, equation 3. The values of equation 3 are, we have x is what? Is 2, y is 1, z is 4. So and the value for x3 is what? Is 1. Okay, and if you check if in equation 3 we don't have value for x1 and x2, so I put it 0 and 0. You understand? So therefore, and you know that in equation 1, what the solution? The solution is simply the answer. The solution for equation 1 is what? 32. I put 32. For equation 2, the solution for equation 2 is what? 25. I put 25. And equation 3, the solution for equation 3 is 28. I put 28. So therefore, after doing that, this will be my ratio. Now after doing that, I have to find the value for zj. The value for zj are, how do you calculate zj? Zj is 0, this times this, plus this times this, plus this times this. Okay, so that becomes 0 times 4 is 0, plus 0 times 1 is 0 plus 0 times 2 is 0. So the answer will give you what? 0. Again, 0 times 2 is 0 plus 0 times 3 is 0 plus 0 times 1 is 0. So the answer will give you 0. So if you keep doing it that way, that will give you 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 as the values here. Okay, so therefore, how do I get? So after getting Zj, I have to find Cj minus Zj. So Cj minus Zj is what? Now, what are the values of Cj? The values for Cj are 11, 10, 12, 0, 0, 0. So that becomes 11 minus 0 is 11. 10 minus 0 is 10. 12 minus 0 is 12. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. So after doing that, now I have to find my what? My ratio. So how do I calculate my ratio? Know that ratio is equal to. So after doing this, now select from your Cj minus Zj, select the select the highest positive number. So if you check here now, the highest positive number here is 12. So after I would trace it up. If I should trace it up, this is what, this is the column here. Is you understand? Is this column under what? Under Z. So this is highest high the highest value under Cj minus Zj is 12. So trace it up is this column, which is what? This column, and the value is Z. Okay, so therefore after doing that, now how do I get my ratio? So to get my ratio is what? Ratio is equal to solution over key column element. So that becomes 32 divided by 3 is what? 10.67. 25 into 2 will give you 12.5. 28 divided by 4 will give you what? 7.0. So after doing that, what's next? The next thing to do is what? Now from your ratio, always take the lowest positive number from your ratio. So the lowest positive number here is this. So I trace it. So this is it. So therefore this become my rows, and this become my columns. So if you check in these rows and in these columns, what is my key element? My key element here is 4. Okay, so therefore this is this. I know that in solving question involving in solving linear programming question involving maximization, always know that your Cj minus Zj, the answer you get must be only 0 and what? It must only 0 and negative numbers. You understand? So you can't get anything positive. You only get 0 and all will be what? Negative what? Numbers. You understand? That's why they say that's why know that for maximum profit, Cj minus Zj is always less than or equal to 0. So that means that the only answer you get in your Cj minus Zj is what? Is 0 and negative. So if you check here, I have 0, 0, and here I have positive. So I have to do another iteration. Okay, so then for me to do another iteration is so this is the second iteration. I will draw my table. Okay, draw my values. Now still repeat this same value, still repeat this same variable here. Okay, so I 11, 10, 12, 0, 0, 0, and still repeat the same variables, these coefficients are becoming x, y, z, x1, x2, and x3. So put everything. So after doing that, now replace from your first iteration. What is the living variable? The living variable is what? Is the rows. These are the living variables. The rows are the living variables. Why the columns are the entering variables? So therefore the entering variables here is what? Is z. Okay, so therefore, and the living variable is x3. So I have to replace the value for z in x3. So therefore this is x, here is x3, right? So I'll put z here, and the value for z is what? Is 12. Now therefore for me to find the values of this x3 and I replace, that is what? Divide each element by the key element. The key element here is 4, right? So that becomes 2 divided by 4 is 0.5. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 0 divided by 4 is 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0. And 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. Okay, so then what's next? After doing that, now how do I get the values for x1, x2? I know that x1, x2 is 0, 0. So how do I get the values for x1 and x2 here? Now how do I get, and also know that this 28 divided by 4 will also give you what? 7. Okay, so after doing that, how do I get the values for x1 and x2? Now for us to get the values for x1 and x2, now this is the formula. know that new formula for new values is equal to old values minus bracket corresponding key column times corresponding key column element times corresponding new row element. Okay, this is a value for finding new. This is a formula for finding new values. So therefore, for me to find the new value for x1 will be what? The new value for x1 will be old value. This is old value. 4 minus is it will be something like this. So for us to find the example, for us to find the x1, the row for this, then for this number x1, this is the old value is what? The old value the old value is sorry, the old value is 4, right? Sorry. Um let me get this. Sorry. So for us to get the value for this, you know that is old values minus corresponding key column element times corresponding new row element. So therefore my corresponding my old value is what? 4, right? So that become 4 minus bracket. What's my corresponding key column element? My corresponding key column element is what? Corresponding key column element, the column under this x1, the corresponding key column is element is 3. So that becomes 4 minus 3. Okay, 3 times. Now the corresponding new row element, the new row element you got is what? Is this one, the one you replace. That is your new row element. So times what? 0.5. Okay, times 0.5. So therefore if you do this and subtract it, that will give you what? 2.5. Okay, it's very easy. So for you to find new values is what? Old value minus corresponding key column element times corresponding new row elements. Okay, so after doing that, with that you can get the values for this and also the value for what? For this. Okay, now after you can get the values for this, that is for this now, and also the values for this, which is also for this. Okay, so after doing that, after doing that, we have to find zj. So formula for finding zj is what? The same thing. This is this times this plus this times this plus this times this, we get this times this plus this times this plus this times this, we get this. So like that, others like continuous, you can get the raise. Okay, so therefore after doing that, now how do I get my? After doing that, you get to cj minus zj. So my value for cj minus zj is half. That is 11 minus 6 will give me 5. 10 minus 3 will give me 7. 12 minus 12 is 0. 0 minus this will give you this. As usual, you get this. After doing that, what do you do? As usual, you take the highest positive number from the cj minus zj. The highest positive number is 7. So you choose it up, which is this. You circle it. Okay. So after doing that, what do you do? How do I get the ratio? The ratio is what? As usual, the ratio is always solution over key column element. Alright, so that becomes solution, that is 11 divided by 1.25 will give me 8.80, and also 11 divided by 2.5 will give me 4.40. Also 7 divided by 0.25 will give me 8.00. Okay, so after doing that, what do you do next? Now select the lowest positive number here. The lowest positive number here is 4.4. I circle it. That is this. Okay. So after doing that, and if you check in my cj minus zj, I still have a positive number, and of which that I don't supposed to have a positive number. I only have to have a negative number and then 0. So I still have a positive number here. So I have to undergo another iteration. So by undergoing another iteration, this has become my third iteration. Okay. By going so therefore that becomes what? So therefore that becomes my third iteration. I have to rule my line, repeat the same variables here, repeat the same coefficients here, which is 11, 10, 12, 0, 0, and also repeat the same variables here. I repeat it here. Okay, so after doing that, what's next? Now from this, now what is the entering row? The entering row is x2. That is x2 is the entering row, and what is the, sorry, x2 is the leaving row. Now, what is the entering column? The entering column is y. So therefore, I have to replace I have to replace x2 with y. Since we're saying that you have to replace the entering column with to the word. I have to replace the leaving row with the entering column. So you check here, the entering column is y, and the leaving row here is x2. So I have to replace this. I have to replace x2 with this. So that become x2 here becomes y, and the value of x2 here will become of y, which is in terms of x2 become what? Become 10. So therefore that becomes I have replaced this now. That becomes y and 10. Okay, so therefore what now from this in this row, now how do I get this row? Since we know that we will replace x2 with y. So therefore if you check in this now, in this whole thing, what's the key element? The key element here is what? Is 2.5. So I have to divide anything here, anything in this row by what? 2.5. So by dividing everything here by 2.5, I'll get 0 into 2.5 will give me what? 0. 2.5 into 2.5 will give me what? Will give me what? 1. And also if you check this, 0 into 2.5 will give me what? Will give me 0. And also 0 into 2.5 will give me what? 0. And also if you check this, 1 into 2.5 will give me what? Will give me 0.4. So like this we can get the rest. So after doing that, now how do I get x1 and z now? So how do I get it? Is simple by using the formula. New value is equal to what? Old values minus corresponding key column element times corresponding key row element. Okay, so that becomes now from in this row now for us to find this row, that is for us to find this row, that is what old value. The old value here is 2.5. So that becomes 2.5 minus, I go 2.5 minus bracket. If you check in this row, what's the corresponding key column? The corresponding key column here is 1.25. So that becomes the old value is 2.5. That becomes 2.5 minus corresponding key column element is 1.25. So times corresponding new row element. So therefore the new row element is what? The new row element is what? Is 0. So that because if you do it, that will give me what? 2.5. So exactly the same thing with here. For us to find the value for here, which is this value here, is what? Old value is 1.25 minus corresponding key column element, which is what? 1.25, right? Times corresponding new element. So the corresponding new row element is what? Corresponding new row element under this is what? Is 1. Okay, so that becomes, so if you do the rest, you get the same answer. So after doing that, you get this answer here. So after doing that, what do I have? So we have to get zj. Now the formula for zj is what? This. So that becomes, for zj is what? This times this plus this times this plus this times this, you get this. Also this times this plus this times this plus this times this, you get what? This. So like this you get the rest. After doing that, how do I get zj minus cj minus zj is what? Is 11 minus 6 give me 5, 10 minus 10 give me 0, 12 minus 0 give me 0. Okay, so after doing that, I'll get everything here. So what next? After doing that, what next? I have to, from the cj minus zj, select the highest positive number. So the highest positive number here is 5. So I'll trace it up. That is this, right? So after doing that, I have to now, for us to find the ratio, I have to divide the ratio is what? Solution all over key column elements. So that becomes, solution here is this. That becomes 5.5 into 2.5 is what? 2.2. 4.4 into 0 is 4.4. 5.9 into 0.5 is 11.8. So after doing that, so I have to select the lowest positive number from a ratio. So the lowest positive number from a ratio is what? Is 2.2, right? So I trace it. That is this. I circle it. So after doing that, if you check in your cj minus zj, I still have a positive number here. So I have to undergo another iteration. So therefore, another iteration here, that becomes the fourth iteration. Drawing my tables, repeating the same variable, repeating the same coefficient, which is 11, 10, 12, 0, 0, 0, and also repeating the same variable, which is x, y, z, x1, x1, x3, which is this. Okay, so what next? If you now consider this row and this column, what key element? The key element here is 2.5. okay, so therefore, and also what are the what are the leaving rows and what are the entering columns. So if you check here, the entering columns here is which is x, and the leaving row is this, which is what, x1. So therefore I have to replace x1 with what, with x. That is, I have to replace the leaving variables with the what, with the entering variables. Okay, so that becomes this x1 will be replaced with x, right? Now for us to find the values of this x1, which is x, will be what, divide each row by the key element. The key element here is 2.5. That becomes 2.5 into 2.5 is 1. 0 into 2.5 is 0. 0 into 2.5 is 0. 1 into 2.5 is 0.4. So like that, I'll get everything here. So after doing that, how do I get the values for y and the values for what, for z? Okay, so therefore, how do I get the value for y and z, which is by using the same formula, which says that new value is equal to old values minus corresponding key column element times corresponding key new row element. Okay, so therefore for us to find the value for y here, so if you check from here, the old value here is 0, so that becomes old value minus corresponding key column. The corresponding key column here is what, is corresponding key column here is what, is something as 0, right, times corresponding new row element. Corresponding new row element is what, is 1. From this new row we got is 1. So that becomes, if you do it, that will give my answer for here will become 0. And also for us to find the value for here is what, is the same thing, which is what, old value is what, is 1 minus corresponding key column element is 0 times corresponding new row element. The new row element is here is what, is also 0. So if you do it, the answer for here becomes what, 1. So like that you do the rest. Okay, so after doing that, now how do I get my cj minus what, zj? So my cj minus zj becomes what, so my sorry, so how do I call my zj? My zj becomes as usual, which is what, this times this plus this times this plus this times, that will give me 11. Okay, and also we have this times this plus this times this plus this times this, that will give me what, 10. So after doing that, you get this. Now after doing that, what do? I have to get cj minus what, zj. So therefore cj minus zj is something as what, I have 11 minus 11 is what, is 0, comma 10 minus 10 is 0. 12 minus 12 is 0. 0 minus 2 is minus 2. You have 0 minus 1.8. 0 minus 1.8 is what, is minus 1.8. Okay, comma, and also 0 minus 0.6 will give me what, minus 0.6. Okay, so therefore these are my values for cj minus zj. So if you check this now, all these values are what, in times of what, zeros and then negative numbers. So and therefore after once you arrive at these numbers, you have reached your optimal mathematician. Okay, so therefore for us to find the value here, that is your profit, your optimal profit is what, is 11 times this plus 10 times this plus 12 times this. That will give you what, that will give you 125.8. That would, so therefore this answer is my what, is my optimal, is my optimal profit. Okay, so therefore from our question, we have to find the weekly output of each type. So to mathematics profit, the weekly output of each type to mathematics profit is what, we have the value for x. The value for x is under solution, which is what, 2.2. Y is what, 4.4, and then z is 4.8. So therefore BII, for us to find the maximum weekly profit, here is what, is 125.8. Okay, so therefore this is what, final answer. Please guys, if you find this video interesting and helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share. Thank you.